Good afternoon to all, and it has been a pleasure. I have been regularly, doing these sessions, and this is, I think, my seventh or eighth session for IoT Academy. So it's an honor that I am continuing, and I welcome all the participants. Let us, after the recent landing on the moon, we have a lot of achievements. So I think somewhere even teachers are part and parcel of this journey. So let us see how we can use this 1 hour and develop ourselves to be better teachers. If we are already good, we can improve. So this session is mainly on teaching pedagogy. We'll talk a little bit about the overview of teaching pedagogy, what is the significance, what are the different approaches and methodologies. Ma'am, next slide. Yeah. So I am sure you are all able to see the objective which is displayed on the screen. The main session objectives are at the end of this session, all the participants who are there will be able to describe various terms and concepts of teaching pedagogy. You will be able to discuss its significance. You will be able to understand and talk more about the learning styles and the teaching strategies. You will also be able to practice some of the approaches. When I say some, because it's a gradual process. If you are already at a middle level where you are using some of these strategies, you will be able to be better at trying newer things. If you are a beginner, yes, you will be able to try out some of the processes and see how it works for you. And obviously, yes, you will be able to elaborate more on the teaching learning methodology. So when we start this session, we are looking at I am trying to take in the group as a whole. I don't know how many of you are the teaching profession for a long time, how many of you are youngsters, but we will take it from scratch and we will try to understand, how best we can develop. Next slide, sir. Yeah, I want all of you to take a look at this slide. There are three pictures here, and you all can please, look at it. There is a caption below which I have mentioned, so which is related to the slide. So please take about 30 seconds time. I'm giving you all. You can list down what you understand by the three pictures on this slide. You can put it down in the chat box. Participants, please respond in the chat box. There are no responses yet. Please kindly respond in the chat box so that I understand you are on the line with me. You are also engaged and listening to the session. Participants, I have put the question in the chat box. Kindly respond on the perception of this slide. What do you understand by this slide in the chat box? Please. It is a time session. I cannot hold on for a long time. I do
Excuse me, sir.
pardon, madam.
Sir, at times your voice is getting low, sir. Can you just connect through mobile, sir?
Okay. So, hello, hello. That, what is, yeah, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Is my voice clear now?
So it is still low, sir.
So, I am in full volume. I use both. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I keep this close and speak so that it can be heard better.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So move on to the next slide, ma'am. No, sorry. I'll just explain this for a moment. This slide shows the picture of a child. There is a painting and artistic work, and the third picture indicates science. So this actually literally translates into the art and science of teaching children. So pedagogy literally translates into the art and science of teaching children. There is an interesting definition of the term pedagogy. It is determined that a tutor or a teacher must bring out a response from the learner which demonstrates understanding. If the tutor fails to take out some response which you know demonstrates that the concept has been understood by the learner, in that case they do not term it as completed learning. Can we move on, ma'am? Next slide. Yeah. So what is an art? Correctly putting theories into practice and building up teaching experiences. Experiences which you have gained over the years, not what is there in the textbook. So you know the theory and you know the practice of building up on these theories by using your experience. The science is the knowledge of the theories of learning that you have read or you have come across, and developing strategies based on these theories is called the science of teaching. What is a pedagogy for teaching? It refers to the strategy of how educators teach in practice or theory. It is, definitely influenced by your own beliefs, your culture, and the type of method that you apply for, a session or for continuing the process of learning into the classroom. It is what you believe and what you pursue. Next slide, ma'am. Again, I am giving about 30 seconds. Last time I got one response, but this time I hope we'll get some more response. So if you remember any teacher in the past, whether from your school or college days, who inspired you, you can put his or her name in the chat with a line mentioning why or how he or she inspired you. Please. Yes, Madam Rashmi, your English teacher, but can you tell me why? What was it that inspired you about her? You may unmute and speak if required.
So, good afternoon. Just to tell you that she had such command on the language, and then she made the English lessons very interesting for us by giving us examples and also quoting from literature.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So that is a very interesting point. You were inspired because of her knowledge, command of the subject, and the kind of examples which she used made the lessons easy. So, uh, do you actually practice that in your session?
Yes, sir. Try to at
Excellent,
least.
excellent, excellent. Anybody else who wants to share why they were inspired by any teacher? Okay, anyway, we'll move on. Ma'am, next slide. Yes, please. So here you see, I am giving you some input of the quality of a teacher. If you are an average teacher, you will tell, you will talk about the subject, you will inform things. If you are a good one, you will explain, you will give example, you will, you know, have a discussion with the students and you will explain. If you are a superior one, you will demonstrate, you will be able to, give a live example or a demonstration and you will be able to ensure that students understand. But if you are a best teacher, you do something far more than the other three categories to inspire. And this is only possible if you are knowledgeable, if your command on the subject is very strong, if you have some experience to back up your knowledge, and most importantly, if you are very much passionate towards your profession. Your passion will show in your classroom, it will show in your effort, and the students, they will relate to your passion. They will, like Madam Rashmi said, her English teacher, inspired her. So that is what you will be able to do to your students. Again, let me reinforce the point here that in higher education, a teacher does not, give facts or truth. He is more like a guide. He points in the direction of the truth, and each student finds out the truth for himself, which may be different. It is not the answer to a question, it is a solution to a lifestyle, and each person's vision and expectation will differ. Hence, the solution also will differ. Can we move on, ma'am? Yeah. Now, let us look at what is the need for pedagogy. What is the importance of pedagogy in teaching? Though we are talking about pedagogy, we are actually looking at andragogy where we are talking about adult learning, not children. So the importance is it improves the quality of learning. Students are more focused, they pay attention, they are more engaged. They are receptive during the session. They listen to you. They participate in discussion. There is more participation in classroom activities. The knowledge is imparted effectively across the spectrum of learners. Learners may be of different types and different levels. So, but still, your use of the right pedagogy will help you to reach over a different segment of learners, and it also helps in the development of higher cognitive skills among the students. Yes. Next, so the classrooms become more participative. There are better learning outcomes, enhanced engagement. Students are more focused. They listen, attentive. There is a possibility of knowledge creation. When I say knowledge creation, this is the ultimate goal that every teacher wants to achieve. Create new knowledge, create new information, and based on this, the satisfaction of the teacher can be multiplied. Next slide. Okay. So if you have thoughtfully developed a pedagogy, it improves the quality of teaching. You are also more involved. It helps you to deliver the session better. The student is more receptive, and it improves the level of participation in the teaching learning process. The right pedagogy will help to impart education to students with even learning disabilities or different learning styles. So they develop a better understanding of the subject, and this ensures the achievement of successfully achieving knowledge transfer or delivering the outcome of a program. In modern day, we talk about outcome-based education. So for every course or subject, we have certain outcomes. These outcomes need to be measurable and achievable. So if these outcomes are measurable, then you will find that with the right pedagogy, you will be able to see visually how the student is able to achieve the outcome that is expected. So the correct approach is required for students with special needs. Uh, Special needs can be, having disability, learning limitations, and so on. There may also be students from different groups which are not privileged. For example, the minority group, females who are not encouraged to study, poor background. So it brings them to be part of the mainstream community. If your pedagogy is thoughtfully designed, it can help the students develop higher level skills, which is more pertaining to the analytical skills, the synthetic or the synthesizing skills, and evaluation. On the other hand, if the pedagogical skills are not well, then the student would remain stuck at the lower order cognitive skills, which is knowledge and comprehension and somewhat application. So, assessing the performance is also an essential part of the learning experience. So you need to be very fair when you are grading the answer script or evaluating the student performance. So can we move on? Yeah. Here we can see the Bloom's taxonomy. I think all of you should have go and read up on this if you have not already done so. So as I had mentioned in my previous slide, the lower order skills, that is to remember and understand. So these are the lower order skills which we generally expect in higher institutions. The student able to recall the basic concepts and facts and explain basic ideas and concepts. Then we come to these two and apply and analyze, which are the middle order or higher thinking order skills, where the students are able to use the information and apply it They are able to draw connection between ideas. They are able to analyze and come out with comparison. And finally, our target is to achieve the top two, that is create and evaluate, where a student or a learner is able to justify a particular decision or a particular choice and say that why it is a better choice compared to something else. Or as we spoke a little bit earlier, creation of new knowledge, generation of new information, which is a part of the outcome of a classroom session. So this is what is our achievement going to be like. We start from the lower order skills, pass through the middle order, and finally the utmost satisfaction is when you achieve higher order thinking, where you are able to see your students are able to evaluate or create. Next slide. Now let us look at some of the factors which are affecting the pedagogy. So I have mentioned here learning style. The learning style of the student is the most important factor, because you need to know whether a student is a visual learner, a auditory learner, or a read-write learner, or one who is a kinesthetic learner. So this knowledge will help you in designing a mix of the teaching pedagogy, where you can be approached or your sessions are interesting to all the different types of learning. Competence of the instructor. Obviously, your knowledge, your competence, and your skills have a very high value when you select the right pedagogy and you are able to deliver according to that. The learners are able to benefit the most. Whereas if the instructor is not competent, the session will suffer and the learner will ultimately not achieve the objective. Availability of resources definitely makes a difference. If you are in a old traditional classroom, you are limited by the resources, so you are restricted with a blackboard or a whiteboard for the matter. But in a modern classroom where you have a smart board, you can deliver a presentation, you can uh, link up with the internet, show a video. So the availability of resources does make a difference. Next point is the educational system. The educational system obviously tell you how you are going to deliver, and obviously the last point, the field of study. Every subject is different, deserves a different pedagogy and different tool or instrument. So these are the few factors which effectively will tell you how your pedagogy needs to be and which you need to apply. Next slide. Yeah. Knowing your learners. I have given a site here where there is a self-assessment quiz, and you can note down that you can try it on yourself, and you can also ask your students to try out and find what type of learner they are. Are they visual, auditory, read write, or kinesthetic? This knowledge will help you design the right kind of mix of pedagogy for your session. Mostly, of course, you will find that learners are a mix of some of any two major kinds of learning styles. Next slide. Next, yeah. Here you can see if you are a visual learner, you prefer using images, pictures, spatial learning. If you are a musical or auditory learner, you prefer the sound, you prefer to hear somebody read about the subject and you try to listen. If you are a verbal learner, you prefer using words, both in speech and in writing. If you are a kinesthetic learner, you prefer using your body, hands, and touch. That is, you prefer learning by doing. You want to be involved You are unable to sit in one place and focus on something for a long period of time. You require to be physically active, involved in the project so that you learn better. If you are a logical or mathematical learner, you prefer using logic, reasoning, and systems like calculators and numbers. You are very strong with that. If you are a social learner, you believe in learning better in groups with your friends by discussion. And if you are a solitary learner, you work on yourself. You work alone and perform better when you are doing things on your own. So, what is your learning style? Please check, find out. You can use this kind of tests to find out the learning style of your students and then design your classes accordingly. Next. Now, here I am talking about learning theory. There are broadly four types of learning theory: behaviorism, cognitivism, humanism, and constructivism. And each theory has got some characteristics. Behaviorism, like direct instruction, programmed or social learning. Cognitivism is related or focused on attribution, elaboration, cognitive development, and conditioning. Humanism is experiential learning, whereas constructivism has a whole lot of theories which is case-based, discovery, apprenticeship, activity, and so on. Can we go on? Yeah. So if you are looking at different theories, I have here this slide which has got the broad information of the theory, who are the pioneers or the main authors of particular theories, whether it is behaviorism or constructivism or cognitivism or connectivism, or also on adult learning or andragogy. So the key concept for each theory is mentioned. Like for behaviorism, it is stimulus and response or observable behavior. For constructivism, it is an active process where knowledge is constructed on existing knowledge. That means there is a base, you build on the base. For cognitivism, the focus is on how learning is working in the mind. Internationalization of the content. Development of the content in internationalized manner. For connectivism, the focus is on social and technological sharing and constructing knowledge. So, like that, for each particular theory, there is a concept. The key theory for each is also mentioned there, and they have also mentioned what would be the role of the teacher. So now you are free to go through this slide and uh, understand for yourself if you are using any particular theory, what is the concept all about, what is the main theory all about, and what would be your role. So I'm just leaving this slide on for another few seconds, then we move on to the next slide. I hope all of you have made your point, noted it. Then, ma'am, we can move on. Okay. There are five broad approaches to pedagogy: the constructivist, the collaborative, the inquiry based, integrative, and reflective. I have explained these in little bit more details in the coming slide. So, can we move on, ma'am? Yeah. So, you see what is the constructive approach? It is student centered, it is based on past knowledge. Instructor and facilitator are the same. There is a lot of learning by doing, and it may be relatively slow paced. Now let us look at the reflective approach. Continuous assessment of the pedagogical practices. Model approach for the trainee to teachers. It is outcome based. and it involves timely reassessment of learning objectives because you are reflecting and things might differ. The third one is the collaborative approach. It involves teamwork, schools in different abilities. Teachers may not work in the teams with the students, but it is always better if you are there. It enables the use of different teaching practices with different groups. The integrative approach, it integrates the classroom with the outside world, makes the curriculum more realistic and relatable to real life. So it encourages application of the acquired knowledge, kindles interest in mathematics and science specifically. The last one is the inquiry-based approach. It is completely student-centered. It excites the curiosity in the learner. It enhances problem-solving skill, and there are four types of it. The inquiry could be a confirmation where you already have some knowledge and you want this to be confirmed. It could be a structure, you develop the building structure. It could be guided where you are guiding the students towards the expected outcome, or it could be an open-ended inquiry where the results are unknown. You are trying to find out what would be the outcome. So these are the common approaches for teaching learning pedagogy. Can we go on? I have put down here some articles and journals which will help you. There is, if anybody wants to know more on these theories or teaching learning pedagogy, these are some of the written books and journals which you will find available at useful. I'm giving you again few minutes. You please note this down if you want before we move on to the next slide. Yes, ma'am, we can move on. Okay. So the next is now I am showing about some strategies for collaborative learning. First one is think, pair, and share. So what is that? The problem is given to the student. Let them think over it, pair them, and make them share their views. Catch up. So the entire batch will catch up along with each other on what is being discussed. A fishbowl debate wherein you just let each person present his or her point on the topic, and then as a facilitator you highlight the important or significant point. A case study again. This is a very standard and modern method of learning which is practiced in most of the leading institutions like Harvard, Yale, and so on. So the education is self-imparted by using some cases. So you can use case studies, but you must know how the case must be interpreted and utilized to drive home particular lessons. You cannot have cases for every topic. Certain topics must be dealt with theoretical input, but certain topics can be taught by use of cases. And the last one is team-based learning, wherein you divide your students into number of teams and ask them to come up with their own presentations so that the rest of the class can collaborate and learn from them. Can we move on, ma'am? All of you, please have a look at this slide very seriously. This is an active and passive learning process. So you see which area the students fit in, and what kind of teaching pedagogy that we use will be more attractive to which kind of student. So if you see for the first two, the auditory and the visual, of course, they are influenced by the active learning process also, but only they are more interested in the first four kinds of learning, that is lecture, reading, audio, visual, and demonstration. And the maximum that you can transfer knowledge is around 30%. But the moment we go into the active learning process, you see the level of involvement and the learning curve jumps from 30 to 50. When virtual reality or practice is involved, it is 75% of retention. And when a student is allowed to teach others, the retention jumps to about 90%, three times of the highest in the passive learning process. So this is what we want to achieve. We want to move from passive learning to active learning. Next slide. Now let us take a look at the major skills, pedagogical skills for teachers. So earlier it was good communication, your ability to speak well, write well, and interact well, adaptability to situations and handling the class, your ability to collaborate with different students or different groups, your skills of inclusivity wherein you could very easily move from one group to another, and the compassion that you had. But for a modern teacher, this is not enough. For a modern teacher, a lot more skills are required. These skills include: you need to be organized, you need to have tolerance. Today's classroom generation is very different. They will keep on doing and they don't have any fear. So they do a lot of strange stuff, strange according to you because you have never done this in your school or college. But for them, it is normal. Like drinking a bottle of Coke in front of the teacher, as though, like, for them, it is just like drinking water. Preparation. You need to have a lot more preparation. Commitment. Yes, as a modern day teacher, your commitment levels have to be very high. You need to be focused on the subject because every day the session would be different. Even though it's the same class, same topic, but the students are different. You have to have the ability to tell stories, to keep the classes attentive. If you are very monotonous and only knowledge based, students will not listen to you. You have to be open for questions. You have to have a lot of innovativeness. You have to be a social, person who has got a lot of interest in social media as well as being a social person. You must be an enthusiast of technology. You must have a lot of knowledge of technical skills and modern gadgets. And you must be a geek in line with the current, SMS language that we say, and be able to understand what the young generation is talking all about. So there is a lot of challenge if you are going to be a good teacher in present day. Next, next slide. How can you improve your skills? Please review the evaluations of students. Go through them. There is a lot of input there which will help you to understand where students are making mistakes, and that will help you to understand if it can be rectified by using a better or a different pedagogy. Discuss these skills with your colleagues and learn from one another. Attend conferences and sessions like this where you can confide through experts and get information. Keep up in studies with pedagogy. I have already shared 3 links to you guys. You can also search. Google has got endless amount of information, but be careful when you take information from Google. Everything is not right. Ask for additional training in your university, college, or and keep updated with new technology and gadgets. All these are very important. The more you do, the better you will be growing in this field as a teacher. Next, when you are using your pedagogical skills, what are the things you need to do? Be proactive. Don't wait for others. Go ahead and try out different teaching styles. Let the students, be free. Give them responsibilities. Let them design the assignment. Make your classroom more inclusive. Let them be participative. Sometimes you can even allow students to evaluate assignments. Give students space to express themselves. Give them opportunity. Let them talk. Let them lead the session. Learn to identify the learning traits of students. As a teacher, you just slip into the background. You should be one who is facilitating learning, not a person who is to deliver. You just be in the background and let the students, learn and come into the forefront and give them enough accolades and encouragement so they become good students and achieve their objectives. Next, yeah. I have listed here some of the, I mention again, it is some of the, not all, some of the innovative teaching methods. You could have anything within this or out of this also. Within this, I have included project-based learning where students work in small groups. I have included flipped classrooms. This is a very emerging trend in these days. You can use crosswords, quizzes, MCQs. You can do experimentation learning. You can also do activity-based learning, simulation, virtual lab, and blended learning. All these are new emerging trends which is the taking the classroom by storm all over the world. And young and innovative teachers are using their own different methods to deliver sessions to the new generation. Next slide. Yeah. So this is the delivery process. Please understand the process. You start with the learning objectives. If you remember, in this session, the first slide was learning objectives. Then the instruction, delivery, and self-learning. Obviously, you need to understand. So if you are going to deliver a PPT, please look at the PPT yourself and see what you want to deliver. After that, the actual delivery or the activity or the interactions, exercise and practices come. Finally, you will do the evaluation against your learning objectives and see whether it is being achieved or not. If it is being achieved, excellent. If it is not being achieved, identify the loopholes. Where are the gaps? Then, based on this feedback, you again go about and reset the learning objective. So this is a complete cycle. Do it for each chapter, do it for each credit that you have, or do it for the entire course. And keep on repeating it because only with feedback you will continuously improve. Do not use the same presentation again and again for the next and the next and the next. You have to add new points, keep updating yourself. Next slide. Yeah, we are coming to the end of this presentation. I have just three more slides, I think. So I am just highlighting the key points of this entire session. Number one, you should always have an icebreaker to break the monotony of the classroom. When the students, especially post lunch session, they are after lunch they are little drowsy. So you have to do something to break them up and energize them. Then introduction. When I say win, WIN. W is the what. What is this session all about? Interest. Generate interest in the topic. Use a story, use an anecdote, use something which will be an icebreaker and energize the class. And N. The student must clearly be told what is the need for studying this particular topic. The need has to be two sides. One is the personal need, one is the professional need. Because if the student does not understand the need or the use of this subject, this topic, this lesson, he will not be interested in that. Next, your delivery has to be well structured and planned. Break it down into steps. Don't deliver everything at the same time. Use small steps, easy for students to understand. And then reinforce, stimulate, engage. At the end of the session, you evaluate, see whether learning is demonstrated. Yes, summarize the session and move on to the next session. Next slide, sir. Yeah. Keep your energy levels very high. You should be able to, feel that energy vibrating in the class. Don't be predictable. That means the student should not have a routine to follow. Do things differently. When I say that, I don't mean to say do different things. Do the same thing, but do it differently. Be innovative. You are controlling the class, so be creative, be experimentative, try new things, involve students, let them go ahead and be a part of the classroom as a teacher or as a leader. Let them lead the session. Your session will be more interesting and fun. Next slide. Yeah. Be yourself. Don't try to imitate anybody. Be honest. Be passionate. If you are honest, if there are times when you are not aware of certain things, be ready to accept your limitations. Tell the student you will check and get back in the next class. There is no harm. Do not try to cover up by saying something rubbish just for the moment, or do not silence the students. Don't ask stupid questions. This kind of thing should never be done. Acknowledge the achievements of students. Enjoy, celebrate that. Keep yourself updated. Continuously research and find out new things. Prepare for every session like it is your first time and expect the unexpected. You never know what will be right or what will go wrong in the next session. So these are some of the tips which I have for all. Can we go to the last slide, ma'am? Yeah. So I think I have covered the entire topic. Now we are looking forward to questions from the audience. Feel free to post your questions or unmute and ask. I'll try and help you as best as I can.
Thank you, sir. The session is open for discussion now. You can unmute and interact with the resource person, or you can post your queries in the chat box also. Thank you, sir, and thank you all.